Oh, so failed the major order.
Oh no, what happened?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that.
The automatons.
Oh, I thought like real life. That's
Really?
hard though.
What happened? Oh my god.
Yep.
Did Snoop Dogg fail?
Game's over now. Like they shut us out. Automatons win. It's the end of
Yeah.
Helldivers too,
They
so
took our
it's pretty
accounts.
sad. Yep. Took our accounts permanently closed, and that's it. It was fun. I had fun.
We fail.
We did. But it was like supposedly a secret special military mission. Is that what I'm hearing, Tengu?
Yeah, I think that's what they were saying.
That's the spin. Nothing to do with they locked out like half of the world, so I lost a lot of
Yeah.
Helldivers in the Philippines
Yeah, that happened.
and Africa.
In a lot of other countries.
Yeah. It was tough to complete a major order. 2 billion automatons.
Yeah, missing like 100 and how many
Mhm.
countries? Like 60 something?
Yeah, I mean, I have a job. Like, I can't do it without my African counterparts.
What kind of a citizen are you?
Yeah,
Slave to
so it's for
capitalism,
democracy.
that's the word.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty freedom.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so free. So free right now. Working retail. It's fantastic.
Oh my god. So how's everyone doing?
I'm good. How are
Okay.
you?
It's alright.
Yeah,
Doing
fine and
alright.
dandy like a hard candy Christmas.
Oh,
Candy corn?
Hard candy Christmas.
And Mel is, I'm not surprised she's the only one that knows that reference.
Dolly, she's my neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Her,
Neighbor.
hold on.
she bought my uncle's land to
Nice.
put Dollywood on it.
I love her. She's so great. She's so
She went
wholesome.
to school with him. They grew up right next to each other. He said he had a
Nice.
big old crush on her when he was a kid.
Yeah, he wasn't alone. I was more of an Elvira kid personally. I think explains a lot how I grew up.
There's your
Ooh.
fictional character.
Oh, that was my first one.
I had no idea.
Elvira.
So sexy.
Elvira.
So gothy.
I think she was the reason why
Just laughing because he knows.
I ain't saying shit. I ain't getting in trouble, but yeah, I know.
You know that I'm just saying that that preference has followed me.
I was a goth. I went through phases. I was like the alternative grunge girl
Hmm.
and skater chick, and
Hmm.
then out of high school, I was like totally gothic, and it
Hmm.
scared people in my area. They thought I was a Satanist, and
Like
like
that.
talking about total witch hunt. I mean, I went to jail for things I didn't do because they were trying to get
Damn.
the big bad Satanist in
Oh,
jail. And the funny thing is, somebody wrote spray painted something said, "We're coming to get you," and it says, "Sign Satan's queen or daughter." And guess who they came and arrested for it? Me.
Oh God.
And I wasn't even. I was like, "What?" Like they came and questioned me, and then I got arrested for something different. But and it was absolutely insane. I had to leave town.
Yikes.
That's how bad it was. I
Wow.
left this area, and I came back later, and now I'm just kind of like whatever. I'm more like I just put on whatever, but I think my heart's more like boho now.
Boho.
Hippie.
Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I think we've done this enough. Let's get started. I know that only a few of us are here right now. Hopefully, more will join later. But anyhow, welcome to the Soto and Chad show. So, obviously, we have a few guests with us, and a few of our closest friends that we play games with all the time. We got MeliPlayful. If you want to say hi,
Hi.
she's like, yeah.
Hooray!
We
Hello?
also got
It's like,
Tengu 230,
hey, what's up?
and we got Madness. So
howdy, howdy.
we howdy. So yeah, we've been doing podcasts on our own, and we're like, we need to get some extra people on this. We need to have just a random round tables. It's the only thing I could think of. I'm sure there's better names, but I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, everyone just brings one topic to the table, and
Just
and
as a pitch.
it could be whatever. It can be games, it can be movies, it can be the silliest shit. Doesn't matter. You've heard us. We've talked about a lot of random shit. Am I right, Soto?
All the time.
But
This dude in the picture really looks like Tengu.
all I did with the AI was
Which
4
one?
guys, 1 girl at a table, round table,
Is
and
it
then I
is it
put
the
that.
is it the redheaded
The one
stranger
with
to the
that guy,
right?
yeah.
No,
No,
The ginger.
The ginger?
no. Technically, I'm the ginger here, but I'm
The
a female. So,
daywalker.
Daywalker.
No, yeah, the one with the beard. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a little
and the glasses.
like a little close there.
I did
You
not make
knew.
these in any way. I just all I did was cartoon characters, and this is the 5 that they drew. And I said, "Fuck it." They spelt all the words correctly because if anyone has done AI, they spell words just I don't even know. I type it in like letter by letter. They called Soto Shid, the Shid Show. SHID. It was never
Ah,
Shit Show,
should be.
but
Shit
yes.
show, that's about
The
right.
shit show, yeah. I love it.
Um,
Oh Lord.
But anyhow, yeah, so we're going to take these topics, we're going to talk about them one at a time and just see what comes out of it. And, we do like a little chaos here, so this is definitely going to be very chaotic. So,
Yeah.
our first topic, we're going to start with some kind of, I guess, news that's been going on in the gaming world, recently. And we're going to start with Madness. So, Madness, why don't you introduce your topic to us and let's go from there. So, what do you want to talk
Oh,
about?
it's Microsoft, it's Xbox, it's the gaming world right now. Oh, I had to write bullet points so I could, because if I started writing down everything I needed to say, I don't know if I'd have enough space.
So we got the time. You say whatever you need to here, Madness. It is
Yes, it's a
okay.
safe space.
This is a very safe
Uh,
space.
So it's Microsoft are questioning where their money's going, and Xbox are running out of time. Since they bought what is it, Activision for 69 billion, what do you call it? The thing that he lends, they're under the lens for Microsoft. So Xbox might be getting put in with just Microsoft. They said they might be going into cloud gaming,
Oh,
like
wow.
Sega did. Yeah,
Oh, God.
yes, they've definitely they've made a lot of mistakes. Let's say with Bethesda and EA, they've been cutting studios like what do you call it? Arcane, was it that made?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
4
Okay, no.
studios. Yeah,
Dishonored, I
Arcane,
think, yeah.
Alpha Dog.
yeah,
Yeah, Arcane did Dishonored. Tango was another one. They did like the Evil Within games. That's the one that got me. And I think
yeah.
another place like Roundhouse Games. But yeah, 4 studios. And there's rumors, from what I read, that there's going to be more.
Yeah, that's another thing I put down. Yeah, it's not over yet. Yeah,
So,
Microsoft's really putting them under pressure.
Madness, why do you think all these studios are closing though? Is it basically is it just money, or are they not? Because I
Yeah,
know Arcane did Redfall, and Redfall did not do as well as they hoped, from my understanding. So,
but they did. What's the other one? Is it Hi-Fi Rush? Was that one?
Yes.
I say one big. I don't know. Was it BAFTA or what it was? And then the next week later they closed it down.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
yeah. They
Can
put
I ask
it.
a question,
Of
if
course you
that's
can.
okay?
oh, yeah, of course.
Do you all think, because this is something that just kind of popped in my head, do you all think that like subscriptions is causing a lot of these industries to shut down? Because like right now, you get Game Pass, it's like what,
Yeah.
$17?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Like I don't know if like these companies with their games on there are really making the money they need. Like back in the day, we had to go to GameStop, we had to put the money in and buy a game for like $60, $70, whatever, bring it home and play it. Now you just pay, $17 and you get the game for free, pretty much,
yeah. That's what I think's causing Xbox as well. They're giving a bit too much in their thing. That's they're saying put COD on the Game Pass. It might say, oh well, you've got to pay 70 or 80 at Sony, but they're cutting their own throat because they're not getting the 70 or 80 in their own pocket.
Right.
People pay about $17, like you say, and they're getting a $70 game for free.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it depends on the game sometimes though,
yes.
because
Yes.
I mean
Agree.
Starfield came out on Game Pass, but
Mm.
Starfield sold a lot, even
Yeah,
though it was on Game Pass.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
to your point, I think Tango, it's like it comes down to the old school, like what games are available on PlayStation and what games are available on Xbox. And Xbox, I used to have an Xbox, and they used to have games that you're just like, first party exclusives that you just had to get, like Gears of War and Halo and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But now PlayStation has these really, really good exclusives. Obviously, we're playing Helldivers later. And there's not
Yeah.
really a reason to go over to Xbox. I
Yeah.
know they signed the whole Bethesda thing where like only Fallout could come out on Xbox or only Skyrim will come out on Xbox. Okay, but like that's gonna be 2030.
Yeah.
So who gives a fuck? Like if you're not releasing a Fallout game if you're doing it every 15 years, then it doesn't fucking matter
That's it.
if
The
it's
money don't
on
count,
the
does it?
Xbox.
The
It
money don't
doesn't
add
fucking
up.
matter. It doesn't add up. So now it's like they're trying to close these studios so they can fast track a hot property like Fallout because obviously the show is so huge now.
Yeah.
But that's what I think what it comes down to is old school like are the games that I want to play on Xbox or are they on PlayStation? And right now for me and for a long time, what drives console sales is I want to play the games that are on PlayStation regardless of the
Right.
streaming or anything like
Yeah.
that. I'm playing PlayStation 5 games because they're better. And like,
Yeah.
Square Enix and all that stuff has been on there. Final
Mm.
Fantasy, although Final Fantasy,
Hmm.
they've talked about going multi-platform too. I think they actually are.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like that's just the games are better on PlayStation right now than they are Xbox, and Xbox has gone down the toilet as far as financials go, and their
Yeah.
first-party games have not been really anything that you need to play.
Yeah.
And that's been the big thing, and Helldivers is a humongous recent example of a
Yeah.
game that's really pretty fucking simple. But it just causes you.
Yeah.
It's a great friend game, and chaos happens, and you kind of make the story yourself, and it's just like it allows you to do that, and it's huge, and it's only on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Xbox might not have that many exclusive games because they need to sell them to all platforms to make the money back.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Also,
on
like,
top of that too, with
yeah.
Xbox, you like Tina and I can never get our mics to work. We have to
Mm.
use Discord. We can't record on there and make videos. We have to use the what is the OBS in
Yeah.
this PC. Like it's just it's they've made what could be so simple like the way PlayStation has into
Hmm.
something really complicated.
Yep.
And so therefore more people are leaning towards PlayStation. I mean, I even canceled my Game Pass because we
Yeah.
never get on Xbox, and I've got a brand new Xbox that Tinga got me, and we never turn it on. We're always on PlayStation, and it's
Yep.
because of that. And then for them to go cloud gaming, I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now, if it says cloud gaming, I don't even boot it up.
Yeah. That's what just. It's shocking, isn't it? It
Yeah.
really is a mess.
Sorry, Tinga, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're good. No, I was gonna say, oh yeah, I think Xbox spread themselves too thin, honestly,
Mm.
when they're like buying a lot of studios,
Yep.
and
Hmm.
we were when they realized that they need exclusives. I mean, they bought up studios right then and
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah.
then games take time to develop,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and
Especially these days.
like we might not be seeing like all the games in the next like year or so. So
Yeah.
it
Right.
like the money thing, they need the money now, but it's like the games are coming out in like 2 or 3 years from now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like you gotta wait. And the stuff that did come out, like Redfall, didn't do that great. Don't know how Hellblade 2 is gonna do because that's coming out soon. I mean, hopefully
Yeah.
it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Which I've
But
heard it's
yeah,
short.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's what it is. That Hellblade, but it's impactful. But they want to shut
Yeah.
down these single-player game start studios because they think that
Hmm.
the money's in multiplayer online,
I mean, it can be a lot of bullshit that we see
microtransactions.
now. It is. I mean, even fucking Helldivers are just praising it. It has like premium war bonds, although you can't actually earn the credits in the game, which is nice. But
yep,
what in a capitalistic system, what would incentivize the video game companies to make less money?
Yeah,
And if
Right.
the money if is being made in subscriptions or like GTA fucking cards that you buy,
yeah,
like all the microtransactions that GTA is still doing with Rockstar,
yeah,
if there's money to be made there and stupid fucking kids are getting their parents to buy it for them, why in the fuck would the studio change its direction? These are shareholders that are running these things. They don't want
yeah.
to make less money.
Well,
So
see, that's
unfortunately,
why
that's kind of what's
Xbox
going.
is going out and Microsoft's taking it over because they know how to make
Hmm.
money. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're just squashing it. The Say, especially
because
like say when you pay 70 billion on a studio that's not going to make another game for another couple of years, it's worth anything.
yeah, when's Elder Scrolls 6 coming out?
Yeah, that's it. Still saying about 5 or 6 years.
Have we seen any like ideas? Do we know where it's? Is there anything? You know what I mean?
We saw
And now
three
Fallout.
mountains.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. We
That's what I
saw
was going
three
to say.
mountains, but now they're gonna fast track Fallout. So we're gonna get a fast track shitty Fallout game
Yeah.
that's only on Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh
But
dear.
it'll be sold to third party because like they're talking about Gears of War being on fucking PlayStation now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have to sell the IPs to other game studios because they can't afford to keep it in house. They need to keep the
Ridiculous.
money back. I mean, people said that Sony are alright selling it to the PC, but when it comes to Xbox, they're kind of still a bit like they don't want to do that. So I don't know. Xbox is kind of gone. They don't want that. They don't want their titles associated with Xbox. But PCs are okay because they're dealing with Microsoft itself when it comes to PCs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the future of Xbox. It doesn't sound good. I don't think there's maybe another console in them really. If they can't pull back the price that this one was, because no
I mean,
one buys them.
I'm looking at an unplugged Xbox in my fucking console, in my TV console right now.
Yeah,
That is dusty and doesn't even have the plugs in the back of it. It's just
yeah,
on. It's just taking up space.
yeah. That's it.
All
That's in the
because I
battery.
have like one game from that I want to play from back in the day. That's all I have it downloaded on there, and
Yeah.
maybe one day I'll get through my 300 game catalog, and maybe I'll get back to that game that's on my Xbox. And I think it's fucking Knights of the Old Republic, so it's not even anything fucking great.
Hey,
Oh,
that's
well,
a
I
little
guess we'll have to wait and
pretty
see
good.
what happens with the Xbox. But yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of good studios and a lot of games are, yeah, just sucks.
yeah,
But
It's sad.
but when they did the Game Pass, I mean, as sad as it was, everyone's like, yeah, more games, less price. I'm like, there's something that's going to happen because of this, you know. And
Hmm.
I know Sony has different tiers, but they're within reason. They really do not put too many day ones on their
yeah.
pass, and I don't know. I think Microsoft will find a way. You know, every now and then they lose and they come back around, and then we have the great gaming wars again. But like Soto said, it
Yeah,
might be 5 6 years. So who
yeah.
knows?
Right.
Good lord.
Oh, yeah. But we do love
Okay,
gaming, so.
good
That,
talk.
Ah.
Good start. Good
that's the
start.
heavy stuff gone. Okay.
Hey, Mel.
Sounded
Mel, can we
sounded
test something out?
Fuck
exhausted, Tony.
capitalism, man. That's how we're gonna start.
Fuck up. Mel, can we test something with your thingamabob? I'm just curious. And I hate to mute you for a second, but can you hit mute on your controller? I want to see if it's you or Tengu. So I'm assuming Mel. So not keep everyone else
I
talk.
can
You know,
st-
so
I can
Hello,
still kind
hello.
of hear it.
I
Okay.
Yeah, I
don't.
can
Yeah, I
hear it.
can
It's in the
still
background.
kind of.
Yeah.
Do
It's
you?
there.
It's
Going?
still there.
Not as much. Not as much.
Yeah, because
But it's
my
there.
wife messaged me and it's coming out. Yeah, on the stream. Go ahead, Mel. You can unmute if you want. I was just kind of
Okay.
because we were
Now can
Tengu.
you?
Let's see what happens when you mute.
Okay.
Yeah, and if we all talk.
Random
Hello.
roundtable.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, still.
Echoing.
it's more of an echo. Yeah. So yeah, it's so weird, Mel. I don't know what's going on. That's all. That's all I was trying to tell.
So who
Tengu, you
is
can
it, me
unmute
or
if you want.
him?
I sorry. What'd you
What
say,
if we
Mel?
both just kept muted until we're talking?
Oh,
We
we could
could
do
do
that.
that.
If you want to try it, I mean, like I said, I don't know,
Like a
but you know,
conference call. Takes me back. Let's
no,
get on a
no,
conference call,
let's not
everyone.
do conference.
Random
But
roundtable conference call.
you know
Brought
what?
to you
I
by
was
Soto and
just
Chad.
muted and I could hear you all echoing really bad, even though I was just muted that whole time.
It might be Tengu as well. That's what we're
I
thinking.
don't know because yeah, I don't hear you echoing at all for the like I hear the four of us, but it's just yeah, it's just weird. We'll figure it out. We'll get through it.
It's a, it's a nice
I
this is a nice surprise topic.
Yeah, well, it just happens. But let's get to Mel's topic. So Mel can unmute and introduce her next topic. But Mel, what did we had some good, fun little gaming current news. But what did you want to talk about here?
I had several. First was porn, and then romantic comedies, and then horror movies, and I finally settled on not celebrity but fictional characters that you want to be like romantically involved in, or you have a crush with, or your best friend. So make sure to state what you want, whether it was when you were a child or now.
All right, let's start with you. What's your fictional character crush? Since you
Let me
brought it
pull
up,
up
you
my
you
notebook.
start this.
Do I have 30 minutes?
No, probably not.
Okay. David from the Lost Boys. That's the one Kiefer Sutherland
Oh,
played. Oh, I had the biggest crush on him.
so
Every
predictable.
character ever, every character ever that Josh Hartnett played, I had a crush
Oh
on
wow.
every one of them.
Oh, the
Same with Corey
faculty.
Haim. Oh my gosh, the faculty. Yes. Okay. Like when Angelina Jolie's character gets out of the tub in Wanted, like for a split second, I had a crush on her right there.
Me too.
Let's see. Everybody did.
Hmm.
Um, Winona Ryder in Heathers and the
Ooh.
Christian Slater character in Heathers. Oh my God, I think I have a problem like red flags. Like I really like red flags. Let's see, all of the T-Birds from Grease 1 and 2.
One
These are all
and two.
crushes. Yeah, 1 and 2, more 2 because I really like Danny. Let's see, Michael Myers, Ghostface, Matthew Lillard's character mostly. Um,
Not Skeet.
uh,
Poor
Optimus
man Johnny
Prime
Depp.
and Bumblebee. Oh yeah,
Bumblebee.
like oh
All right.
yeah, he
Okay.
was pretty cool. Are we gonna cut me off now? Are we cutting me
No,
Yeah.
no,
off?
no. We'll come
Johnny
back.
from
No.
Dirty
We'll come back
No,
to
it's
you.
Dancing.
We'll
all
come
right.
back to you a
Still
little bit.
music, so you're good.
Um,
Enjoying this very much.
None of us could, don't worry. We'll just have you go for the whole time. But I,
Yeah,
I,
I'm cool with
I
that.
had to think about this a little bit, and I think about when I was younger, and so I'm like, all right, the first person. I wouldn't even say, like you said, more of a BFF because it's a movie I loved, and the movie I recently referenced that Soto never saw, um, with Journey and Natty Gann. She just basically goes across the country to find her father. It's a great Disney film with John Cusack as well. And when I was a kid, I always imagined the two of us would get on adventures together. So for a BFF, it would be her. It was never a fictional character, love interest. It was just like, yeah, this girl's cool. I want to go cross country with her. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird running away. But my first crush, as far as a movie goes, that I remember, and I've said this countless times, from the Karate Kid 2, which is the best movie in the series, and I will fight everyone on that. But Kumiko and Daniel had such a great relationship. But yeah, I loved
Yeah.
Kumiko in that movie. There was such an innocence to that love relationship. But definitely, I was like, damn, I was like, hey, I'm becoming a teenager now. But that, if anything, that, and then I guess video game wise, I don't know. I know everyone ships that Final Fantasy Aerith and Tifa, but I always love Final Fantasy VIII. So if there's a fictional character as far as video game goes, it would be Renoa from Final Fantasy VIII. That's about it. As an adult, I don't think I really have a fictional character crush. I never really think about it, but I remember growing up, yeah, Karate Kid Part 2, I was in love with Kumiko. So Tengu, what about you? What fictional characters did you fall in love with or had crushes on? Let me rephrase that question before I get you in trouble.
No, I didn't have any crushes. It was more what Mel was saying with like BFF stuff, and I was like, I wanted to be friends with Snake Eyes from GI Joe.
Oh, I love Snake
That's
Eyes.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
about
because
Duke?
Duke, not no, not really. You know what I remember about Duke? Having a snake spear going through his chest. That's what I
Dude, the G.I.
remember.
Joe movie, so
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I could do a podcast on just that movie. So good.
yeah.
So
I
violent.
remember that. Yeah,
Perfect.
first I remember, wasn't there like because I remember Snake Eyes playing basketball with Storm Shadow, like at one of the end of the episodes or something like that.
It feels right.
I don't know. I just remember some they had some bullying thing, and then like Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes came over like big brothers and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, don't mess with that kid," and I felt like that kid, you know? It's like,
Oh,
Sounds familiar.
yeah,
Oh, so
G.I.
sweet.
Joe.
yeah. So yeah, it's just
Poor
Snake Eyes.
Josh
He
Lucas.
didn't talk. He just took action, you know. So
He was stoic
yeah,
kind of a dude. He was cool.
yeah,
He was very
yeah.
cool. I think mine was probably the Baroness if I had to choose G.I.
Oh,
Joe.
Baroness, yeah.
So sexy. Oh, my
Destro.
crushes are just gonna tell so much about me because Winona Ryder in Beetlejuice was my first one.
I can see that.
Uh,
Yes.
I can see that. Thank you, Chad.
You're
And
welcome.
also, and also, Ali Sheedy in The Breakfast Club. But also Ali Sheedy in Short Circuit. Um,
Yes.
both great performances. But yeah, Ali Sheedy in Breakfast Club was fantastic. But
You
not to
saying
go
all
on to
these
my.
things, I'm starting to think I'm bisexual. Or at least I was when I was a kid.
Yes,
Just on
that
the
one. Yeah.
characters.
Yeah, I mean that dude. It's just and then I mentioned Elvira too. So again, I'm writing all this down because I'm like I probably have to just review this later and be like, wow, I
In
always had a
private,
type.
It's always
In
been there,
therapy, talking
Soto.
to his
A
therapist.
pattern. Yeah.
It's true. Chad
I,
laughs because Chad, he's laughing for a very specific reason. But yeah, it all was pointing this way, Chad.
yeah, it led you to where you are now, and accept it. You don't need no therapy. Uh,
Yeah.
so, what about
And
you,
my wife
Madness?
has no problem, by the way, saying that
Oh, I
she's
know
a
she
godly
doesn't. I
chick.
know she
So
doesn't. She admits it. So
yes,
it's not
but
anything bad or anything like that. So
that was a green
that
flag for me.
yeah, you're like I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in.
Madness, what about you? Fictional characters, crushes, BFFs.
For me, BFF, it's kind of like you about traveling around the world doing adventures. It's Nate Drake, Nathan Drake. I
Oh, that's a good one.
love is hilarious. I know some of them might be dangerous, but you got to take the risk sometimes. Character crush. I couldn't really think of him, so I just thought Buffy. That was like the kind of main series I started watching when I was younger. That's the only
You gotta
two
take a
things I
risk sometimes. I love that. It's true. You do. Don't let anybody tell you different, Madness.
That's the only things I could think of.
Uh,
Which we do every time we play video games and there's explosions.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's it.
Take a risk at sometimes.
I call
all
it the
right.
universe's little kisses.
Oh
So
wait, I'm
Mel,
not done. And then
Mel, do you
there's
want to finish your list now? Go ahead. You.
There's Hellboy. Um, let's see. Now listen, I know Elvis was real, but the Elvis movie that recently came out, that Elvis version. Let's see. I kind of have a thing for Cthulhu. Let's see.
What?
Pennywise.
An Eldritch?
That might need a therapist. That's
A
Burt Reynolds'
cosmic
character
horror?
from Smokey and the Bandit. All the Golden Girls. I would love to be like best friends with them.
That's a good best friend
Negan.
group. I would be
yeah,
in on that group
Yes,
now that you think because
yeah,
that is an
yeah,
awesome
yeah.
group. Negan from The Walking Dead. I so love him. Which
I would want to be
let's
his
see,
friend,
yes,
but I
Red
just don't want to meet the
Flag.
end of the bat. That's why.
Yeah,
Me, you,
Lucille.
yeah, all
Yeah.
right.
Um, Wayne and Garth. I love them. Like basically, I'm just looking at my wall of Funko Pops.
Just-
Storm. I think I said Optimus Prime and
Optimus Prime, yeah.
and Bumblebee earlier. Let's see.
Megatron.
Red from Fraggle Rock. Cheer Bear. Papa Smurf. Yeah, like all like
Wow.
these are my loves.
wow.
All the dentist from Little Shop of Horrors.
Ah,
Like
yes.
Oh my.
yeah. So I'm just gonna stop now
Okay, so
because
no.
I'll
Let
keep
me ask you
going.
something now. Yeah, we'll stop your list, but I have a question for you, and I'm going to pose this. Because that is a shit ton of crushes. Okay, what was your first topic again?
It's like the multiverse
Porn.
of crushes.
Let's say that one
Where
four-letter
are
word
you?
there. What was
Porn.
it again? All right,
Oh
so
God, no!
No.
She just said Papa Smurf, bro. I don't want
cheese
that in my
blue
Research.
life.
dabba dee dabba da.
Rule 34. Alert! Alert!
Some of those were my best friends.
Wait, what about David Bowie? What about David Bowie? Fucking
the
come on,
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. Hell
Okay,
yeah.
wait a minute. You know who is the top? Gemma from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh my God.
I can get on that show.
I would be her best friend. She is so badass.
She's a ride or die.
So,
Yeah,
by
she
the
is.
way, Mel, I would like to say, if you did not see that comment, my wife commented that she thinks you're her soul sister.
I know she's my soul sister. I said that a long time ago.
All right. Well, we know Mel had the list of 50. Does anyone else want to throw out any fictional character crushes out there that they might have forgotten or BFFs before we move on?
I think Mel covered all of mine.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mel just covered the whole,
I
general.
think she's about hit
And
everything.
Mr.
Yeah.
T.
Widespread. Sergeant
Pretty
And
difficult.
Mr. T, the
I
cartoon or real life?
The real life.
Sergeant Slaughter.
I will say if I had a
What about
eh,
Clubber Lang?
club of Lang,
Oh, dear.
oh my god! All right. We're gonna move. This list can keep going. I think Mel will just go on for ages.
I
Uh,
would. I would.
oh my
Oh,
god.
Clubber Lang. Oh
Oh
man,
man. Oh, this
Rocky
has been
Three,
fun.
baby.
Rocky 3 was one of the best. That and 4. But
We
Oh
have like a
God,
podcast, like a whole 30-minute show of just me naming people, and it's like, okay, thanks for watching.
I'd participate in that. Absolutely, it's like
like
stream
what
of
else happened? So
consciousness.
no, this is it. This is all we're talking about. So
Hmm.
so we're going to move on to our next topic. And Soto posed a question to me, and he wants to see if this theory is real. So, Soto, I
Oh,
give
it's
the
real.
floor to you. Oh, I don't know the theory. I just know the question. But you said, I have a theory, and you left it. That's all you said to me. So go ahead. I give you
Oh,
the
well,
floor.
so I'm just gonna ask everybody in this round table here, and Madness, I'm especially interested in your opinion too.
Hmm. Thank you.
Do you guys buy other people like cards on special occasions,
No, for
like for
years, me.
birthdays? Okay,
Yes.
Madness, no. Mel,
No.
yes,
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I know you kind of know my answer. I mean, it depends the special occasion. Because as I was telling Soto, is like I remember I got him a card for your wed. Obviously, so weddings, yes, I do. Birthdays, very rarely. But I guess it depends the definition of special occasion. I know. I think the big
Get well
moments like
soon.
31st, my maybe 30 and 40 for my wife, and I could be wrong. So sorry, honey, if I didn't get you a card, and I'm remembering that I did. But like certain anniversaries I have, but yeah, overall, I am not a card person. I am horrible at it. But the big special occasions like the weddings, I do. Birthdays,
Hmm.
Christmas, no, not really.
Hmm.
Very, very, very rare. Hell, I don't even think I got my
Yeah.
daughter a 21st or 18th birthday card, but I could be wrong. So
But
go
you
ahead.
have,
That's the same with me. Yeah.
Mm.
and my whole thing is that this is like a cultural thing because I am a brown person. I love that you put this as a slide,
That's what
because
AI picked. This has nothing to do with me. AI picked
we
this.
did not even talk about this, but like all of me and my fellow Browns, like we don't get people fucking cards. We refer to that shit. I won't say what we refer to it as, but it's definitely a cultural difference of being like that is some shit that I never had a part of, nor do I co-sign on getting people cards. I think it just is strange to me. And every person that I've asked that is brown is like looks at me as like no, and every other person I've asked on the other cultural side of that has been like, what do you mean? Like that's a weird question to ask me. Because if you are like that's a strange question to ask, then you are exactly what I'm trying to say is like the cultural difference of being like, yeah, I don't think to myself that I need to buy people cards, but in
Mm.
this like cultural thing of the United States, it's like, oh, we get people cards. This Hallmark is like built around it.
Yep.
And so I've just noticed that the Caucasians get people cards and the Browns do not. And this was a revelation this week. I asked around work too, and it also checked out. But I was mostly wondering if it was like kind of like a United States thing. So I kind of wanted to ask Madness, in England, is that a thing?
It's kind of very rare. We just kind of turn up and say, "Happy birthday, here's a drink," or whatever.
Hmm.
It's mainly gift giving. It's not really cards.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah, like
Mm.
now
yeah.
too, like back when I was a kid, because I was born in '77, cards were it. Now you have like people can send a text "Happy Birthday," or they can send like an e-card or whatever. Now
Mm.
people aren't really like back then. It was a big deal. We got them for every Christmas. You sent out a big list of Christmas cards, let
Hmm.
people know where family's doing great, blah blah blah. Now we're all connected through like social media and stuff like that,
Hmm.
so people don't really do it as much. I think that has been a big difference too. Like with me, I will send like my niece and nephew and like a card, but like I won't get like Madness and seeing you or you all because I'm with you all the time. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like happy birthday and text you all, but like, and I don't send out Christmas cards and stuff. It's very rare. But back in the day, they did that because they didn't have this technology that they do now. So I think that's a big big
Such a
difference with
weird
Yeah,
thing.
those
So
two.
yeah,
yeah,
I do
Yeah.
birthday cards for kids if I'm going to like their house or a party. Like I know my friends who I consider my nephews. If I go there, and it's just it's a small card. Like it's not even anything big, but I do get them cards. But that's because I'm going there. But I do have a story that it's funny that Soda, you brought this up, and as I'm thinking about this, I'm gonna reference both our weddings actually, because yes, I did get Soto a card and I put some cash in it, but it was the gift that was the most hilarious part. I got him a Blockbuster Video combo. I put in like a box of candy, water, and popcorn just as a joke,
Yep.
because that's where him and his wife met because of me,
Yep.
and I'll leave it at that. But that's not the point. My wedding, when I married my wife Jill, you were there, and I remember because at this time, all of us smoke cigarettes. We don't anymore. Well, a couple of us
Yeah,
don't, but
six years
but
since 526. Yeah.
it's been a while, but I remember this because afterwards we talked about this, and you're like, "Yeah, no, I didn't get you anything." I said, "You showed up. That's cool." But because me and Jill were out of cigarettes, you were lending us. I'm like, "This is your gift to us. You're giving us cigarettes." But you didn't, and I didn't think about it. Yeah, because you didn't give a card or you didn't throw anything, which is fine. Like again, we're not expecting it, but yeah, I just remember you're like, "Yeah, I didn't." I'm like, we just wanted people to show up because that's all we had. But I'm like, "Yeah, you gave us cigarettes," because we were both out. I'm not. Don't give the gift of cigarettes, please. But I just remember that. But
Well, because
Yeah,
like
when
I don't understand these traditions like at all. Like
mm,
weddings, you're supposed to give people cards. I just didn't grow up with that culturally. So,
no,
I find it very awkward in those situations to deal with that. Plus, it's like, it's not so much like, a brown or white thing, too. It's also like I've noticed if you're poor growing up, you tend to not give out cards because it's a waste of fucking
yeah,
money.
it is
If
a
you have a
waste,
little bit of
yeah.
money, you take staged photos and send them as Christmas cards. Like
yeah.
I don't know that reality though, and that's based on like just how I grew up and everything. So I'm glad I could give you cigarettes, Chad.
I do want to say on the cigarette thing, when I was a smoker, that was the best gift ever. But
Absolutely.
when I
it's so
was going, and then
expensive.
I'm going to talk about cancer right after. When I was going through like the worst part of my cancer, this girl who was going through equally as bad because she's on the kidney transplant list sent me a card, and it was just a random thing, and I opened it up, and it was this beautiful letter to me about how like you're the strongest person I know, and I love you, and I'm praying for you, and all that. That touched me more than anything. And so coming from that space, and I'm one of these people, I'm like, I'm not going to spend money on a card because I need that money. I need to buy my dog's food and me food and blah, blah, blah. But then knowing what she was going through, and she was financially in the same situation as me, and then she sent me a card out of the blue, that was
Yeah.
like the most precious thing to me ever. And I still have that card, and I'll keep it to the day I die because
See,
it
that's what.
meant that much to me.
Yeah, I think if you've got an actual message to send, then it means a lot more. But not just pick it up, say to blah blah, Merry
Happy
Christmas.
birthday.
See, yeah, that's it.
Mm.
But if you actually got a message to send, then that's heartfelt. That's what I think
Yeah, it
cards
makes
should
a
be,
big
heartfelt.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you because like a few years ago, our neighbor passed away,
yeah,
and my mom, because she worked with uh, or I should say our neighbor's their husband, they passed away. My mom worked with his the wife, and she sent a card to her after he
yeah,
passed, and she wrote like you said, like a just like a message on there, and she said she was the only person that sent her a card
Wow.
at
Yeah.
that time, and then it like she felt the sentiment, and
yeah.
it meant a lot to her, just like what you were saying. So I mean, there's a time for it too,
That's
just
it.
Right.
Yeah,
sending a message to somebody like that.
Correct, and I think that's the bigger part. It's the message that's in it. Because you can easily, just like a note. But like Soto said, I just think like birthday cards outside of it, if it's kids. Well, so let me ask Soto, and I'm sorry, I know we just went kind of sad there, but I'm going to change it a little bit.
come back.
So
Yeah,
kids, you've obviously gone to kids' birthday parties, but and I'm just going to ask, never even a kid, you never got a card for a kid's birthday, never.
No, and so like those like stories are awesome. I've never experienced that. It's just not part of my life reality. Do you know what I mean? I don't
No, I know.
I
I
don't
was
get
just
around that.
clarifying. Yeah.
No, no, I'm not asking for a card. Please. I'm very anti-hoarding, and I don't want anything more in my house. I'm already mad that I have 3 Funko Pops that I'm looking at right now because I'm already like, that's way too
You
much.
just send them to me. It's fine. I'll
Okay.
take them.
Yeah.
I have to check with the wife, but still. No, I just
They might be
that's just
hers.
never been anything that when I started experiencing that kind of stuff was when I moved to New Hampshire, which I'll get into later. But
That's kind of like a British area, so you probably still get that
yeah,
white
I
thing.
went. Yeah, like I went to New Hampshire as a Puerto Rican kid from
Yeah.
Los Angeles, California, and I went there in the mid '90s, and the culture was totally different. So that's when I started experiencing those things like cards and special occasions. Because prior to that, I just didn't. It's just not what we do. Like Hispanics just deal with stuff in a different way. So yeah, I didn't start seeing that till I was like in my mid-teens. But again, that ties into something I'm going to talk about later. So I'll save a little bit for that.
Ooh.
That's funny you said the thing
Yo.
about the Hispanic thing because, like, my friend is Hispanic and he's always sending cards. Like that in his household, they send cards. Like you get a card for Christmas, for New Year's Eve, for Easter, for Good Friday, for Fourth of July. Like he's constantly.
Jesus.
Really?
So and
Well, is he married?
yeah,
Hold on.
and
Is he
like
married? No, no. I
no,
mean, honest. No, no.
You're
Is he
no,
asking.
married? No, he's
no,
single.
he's not. He's single, but
All
like
right, never mind.
it's
I was
what
gonna
his
say is
mom
the
did.
because I was like, is the wife not Hispanic? Because then I would be like, that's why. But then
Mm-mm,
I don't have a reason for
no,
this.
Well, are
but
they
then again,
Mexican? Puerto
they're
Rican?
Mexican. They're not Puerto Rican.
Aha.
I was wondering if it's the Mexican Puerto Rican thing. But
It is
my
now.
other Mexican friends,
It is
my
now.
other
Find the
Mexican
loophole.
friends, they're like, that's a waste of money. So what I think it comes down to was it was the poverty level versus the they were wealthier. And so I think
Interesting.
Maybe.
that has to do with instead of it being like
Oh
a
yeah, agree.
certain, yeah, I
100%.
think it's more that
Well,
Yeah,
even now,
absolutely.
like, yeah, I don't, cards are so expensive. Even the ones I
they
get for the
are.
birth, I look for like the dollar ones because I know those kids are
Me
gonna
Yeah.
too.
throw it away.
Oh
But I'm
yeah.
just like, happy birthday, blah 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 blah, and that's about it. So,
Me going to
uh,
kids' parties, Chad, you really think that that's something I fuck with?
I still have
family's
every
family.
card ever given to me. I have a tote, and I even have cards that were given to my mom when I was like an infant. I have, now if it's like a friend that's not a friend anymore, those have been tossed. But every single card, I have them. I can go back. I can tell you this is my. Then they're in stacks. These are my eighth grade cards. These are my when I was 6 years old, and they're in this tote, and I've kept them all.
Wow.
My
Mhm.
grandparents have passed away. I've got all the cards they've ever given me. My aunts,
Mm.
my
Yeah.
uncles, friends, everything.
Well, that's sentimental, isn't it? It's
Hmm
Yeah, it's
kind
their
of,
writing too. It's the piece of them.
yeah.
And you think I'm 46 years old? That's 46 years of me holding on to this stuff. You know?
That's a
Oh,
lot of
that's
paper,
okay.
man.
Yeah, it all fits in
It's
a tote.
a tote.
So, Soto, did your theory get proved a little bit there? Is what you were looking
Yeah,
for?
no, it's right along the lines of exactly what I was thinking. I mean, it's an interesting cultural quirk that I think we have as Americans. Um, and now, a lot. I talk about the cultural differences, but we're sort of like mishmashed because we share the same pop culture and everything.
Yeah.
Um, but now you can even get celebrities to send like videos to anybody that you want if
Yeah.
you pay
My
them
wife did
enough
that for
money.
her mom. It
I
was
did that
pretty
for my
awesome.
wife
Yeah.
for a baseball
Yeah,
player.
that's right. I remember that. Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Johnny Gomes.
Yep.
So I had Johnny Gomes send it to her because I thought the idea of it was so ridiculous. And it ended up just being a fucking masterpiece. But yeah, I think, Mattis, to your point, if you have a message to send, I think that's the most important thing. And
Yeah.
having words to say and having them be meaningful, I think, is the most important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're saying like America is mostly like capitalism, so they send cards about anything. Over
Yes.
here, it's like just on like a small section in in some
You
shop that's small somewhere that costs like 60p. It's very
cards,
rare over.
you you card sending capitalist. Him shaking his fist at you.
I mean, we fucking
Card
are,
sending
man. He's
capitalist.
fucking right. We're proud of it too. We're like, we love our commercials. We love our brands. We love, like, we're
Oh,
nostalgic about fucking commercials and
oh,
things that we used to
commercials.
eat when we were a little kid. We're like, oh my God, I love McDonald's. I love this corporation. It just reminds
Oh
me of
my
being
god,
a
yeah.
child.
When I watch
Yep.
Tubi and you get about 2 adverts in half an hour, I'm like, what's happening? I have like 30 seconds on in the UK. What's happening over here?
Oh, dude, for Super Bowl, like, we're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see the commercials.
Right?
Oh, I don't. That's when I go eat.
Can't wait to be sold something. That's the American way.
Ah. All right, let's change topics a little bit here. Let's speaking about the American way and working and all that fun stuff. Tengu, let's go. Your topic interests me because I got to see
Goodness.
why you picked this. So, Tengu, I give the floor to you. What is your topic, and let's get on it.
Well, it was random. I didn't know what to talk about, honestly. And then I said pallet jacks, just like out of the blue. But then I think Mel, she's talking about like how they haven't really changed uh since I guess their inception.
Yeah.
Nope.
But I was mostly honestly I was talking about pallet jacks. I was just like thinking about it because I it was more video game related because when I was thinking pallet jacks and I've worked with them for so long at work, I see them in games. And like 95% of the games that you see or that you play have pallet jacks in them. I don't
Yeah.
know if anybody's noticed that,
Cyberpunk
Yeah.
for sure,
but
I
they're in
think.
there. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that Alien Isolation, Destiny,
Hmm.
and all the pallet jacks, they're all the same.
Hidden
Ye
cameos.
Hundreds of years into the future,
Like
They're going to
they
still
standard.
be the
couldn't.
same with that
Yeah,
one little
yeah,
prong, and we still
yeah.
use them at the post
It
office. I
hasn't
will tell you that
evolved.
right now. No, we.
Yeah, they haven't
Well,
evolved at all.
I know that you said they haven't evolved, and when we were talking about it, you were talking about at work.
Yeah,
And I found something out today. So
Oh,
Jason
the rotor
works
ones.
at a place called Denso, and they have robotic pallet jacks that are run like basically he calls them AI. And I was
Hmm.
like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "They have a line. We don't stop on the yellow area because these pallet jacks drive themselves."
Cool.
Oh,
So
Ooh.
okay.
and he said, and they will run you over. And he's like,
Yeah,
they will
Wow.
go up underneath the pallet, they'll pick
they
it
don't
up, and they'll
discriminate.
move it themselves. And he was like, and so they have evolved.
oh my God! I'm so glad
Oh
I
So,
my
didn't work
gosh, they're
there in my
taking
20s.
over.
I would go for a ride every time. I'd be like,
Yeah.
wee. But
I
it's
just put
funny.
wheelbarrow. I don't know why.
My first job was at a grocery store, and I remember these pallet jacks because it's the same thing. And like, so we use them at the post office. Technically, as a carrier, I'm not supposed to use it, but when it's blocking my truck, I'm like, fuck it. And then one guy's like, joking, like, are you qualified? I'm like, I've used this for like 30, 40 years. This is not that hard to use. But then it's funny because me and Soda were talking earlier before we all got together, and we brought up Blockbuster Video, and talk about work related items. Even in the 2000s, the 2010s, those computers were from like the 1970s, dude. We still use like the
Yeah.
dot matrix, whatever it's
Hmm.
called, the thing that feeds the printer. I'm like, everything. Why
Oh my
do
God,
most
we did.
workplaces? Yeah, we did.
We also rented out VHS tapes, so it says a lot.
It
Yeah.
does, but they haven't changed. And I'm not going to say, I mean, it's simple, but at the same time, you're right. It can be unsafe because I know, as a teenager who probably goofed off more at work than he should have, I rode those pile jacks. And if you know what I mean, Tango, I had the handle and I was using it as a skateboard and just kind of going
Yep,
around. And
everybody does that at
Oh,
work.
that sounds
everyone,
like a
Shouldn't
yes,
rules
do it.
violation.
it was. And then that's all we did. And if we crashed, then oh well. But that's what I'm saying. If there was a robotic one, oh my God, Mel, I'd be fired because I'd be on the back of the robot like, yep, this is it. This is my life now.
You'd pretty much be a
I
cat on a Roomba.
yeah, pretty much.
but why? So like, why haven't they really, fixed this? I mean, I don't know, or is it
If
just
it ain't broke.
don't fix that?
That's
That's
it.
true. You know what? You're right. That is the management way.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Someone
Just
right now
make a
is
robot do it.
If it
they
is
they
broke,
probably
let's buy
just
the
can't
same
figure
exact
it
one.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean I don't know how you would fix it. I don't know how. I mean, I feel like it's I feel like
Yeah.
it's perfect, really, except for
It's like
the
a
Until
clothespin
it
game.
breaks,
There's
because
nothing
then
you
it's
can do.
stuck on
yeah,
the
until
pallet and you can't get it off. Because if
yeah,
that thing
that's
breaks, you
true.
can't go down. You hold the handle and you're like, well, you're here now. This is your life.
I hate those little chips of wood that just get stuck on the
Oh
wheel,
God, yeah.
and then you
Oh
just like
yeah.
don't move. And I was like, oh man, and then you're like doing like a 20-point turn just to like trying to get it out of the way.
I did not
Man,
want to think
I'm
about
just
the grocery store again, but this has made me think about my first job. Damn it. Oh. But
I
is there
worked at
any
a
other
book
work related
warehouse.
outside of when we play Helldivers later, I am going to look for that fucking pallet jack on our ship. It's going to be there. I
Please.
swear. You probably know better than I do. I'm going to find it.
It'll be on the planet. It'll be on the planet, right next
Yeah,
to
I
the
think they were
soda
on the
machines.
planets. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
think that's where
That's
they
that.
were.
That's what we're
Yeah,
gonna do. We're
that's
gonna
crazy.
find pallet jacks, and we're all just gonna stand and look at it as the bugs come in. And we're like, "What the fuck is this thing? Why is it here?"
They'll probably even
That
have
sounds awesome.
like primitive ones like in medieval games.
Mm-hmm.
What's a primitive pallet jack? Like, how do you get more primitive than that?
A human
Oh, they okay. You know what?
rope or something.
There we go.
The OG, the ones who built the pyramids, bitch, and
Or
had no
did
pallet
they?
jacks back then,
That's it.
His name's
That's,
Jack.
his
or
name's
did
Jack.
they?
Oh,
I thought that was funny.
but all right.
I've
All
only ever
right.
used a
So
dolly, so that's my expertise on that topic. A dolly or a two-wheeler or a hand
Yeah.
truck. What do you guys call it?
Dude, you could totally get in trouble in a freaking two-wheeler, the dollies. Like,
Hmm.
we would get on those and be like, okay, lift me. And the person would, like, flip me
Hannibal Lecter
backwards.
style.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. I always called it I always just called it a two wheeler. To be honest with you, I mean
Yeah,
I've heard it called
dolly,
everything,
same
and
here.
I've used it. Depending on where I lived, because I know Midwest and New England had two different ways of talking. But I think I just call it a two wheeler.
But you
I
have
always
heard
call
of
it.
hand truck though. Hand
Oh yeah,
truck
no,
is
no,
something you've
correct.
heard
I've
of,
heard
right?
people call it hand truck, and and I've heard it called a trolley, right? But I think just when I quickly ask, I just say two wheeler. I think that's just what I use
It's
right away.
easier.
But I've heard of all that, so it's not
I
like,
mean,
oh, what's this
I
word?
won't name names, but somebody very close to me that I won't name, it pretty much starts the fight every time I mention hand truck because they tell me that there's no such thing, that is not a word.
Hmm.
And again, I will keep my sources secret, but
I think
every
I know
time I
you're
say
keeping
hand
that
truck,
secret. So
every time I
when I
say
know
hand
what you're
truck,
talking.
it causes violence around my general area.
Mm.
Are you saying? Hold on. Before we move on to the next topic, are you saying no names for your benefit or for my benefit?
Mine,
Okay,
100%.
then it's not who I thought you were.
No, it is who you think it is. I mean, you really
Oh,
just
okay.
think about me and who you think it could possibly be that would be angry at me for calling something a hand truck.
All right, let's
Like
move on.
who's the spiciest person that you know that hangs around me the most?
Well, no, that's who. Yeah, that's why I said if you're doing it for your benefit,
Exactly.
I know. If it was for my benefit, it would have been something different. I know who you're talking about. So anyhow,
Because,
our last
because
topic.
Hannibal Lecter was mentioned, I do have to bring something else up.
Is that a
Celebrity
crush?
crush, Joe Dirt.
So dirt.
Remember he was in the hole. If it's the lotion, I'm putting the lotion on my skin.
Oh, that's right. Oh man.
Sorry,
No,
I
it's
No,
gotta
that's
okay.
give
great.
us a Funko too.
That's as random as
Oh,
my topic.
it's
That's
okay.
good.
That's right.
No,
That's why
good non
that's why we call
sequitur.
this random roundtable. Bring on any
That
topics. It
was
don't matter.
the randomness right there. That was great.
Oh, we love the randomness. So, all right. So our final topic, or my topic, and it's basically I want to share a story from when I was a kid. It made me think that if you ever had something in your life, one thing, whether you did it, something happened that just no, you tell the story and just people don't believe you for one reason or another, and I'll explain why people don't believe this story. And I know Soda, you don't know this because it's not like I really talk about this much, but I remember talking about it as a kid and even as a teenager. But I was 9 or 10, and where I lived, and I first of all, what this started out as a dream, and you'll understand where this is going. And I was having a little nightmare, like this friggin' I don't know how to explain it. Basically, orange flaming dude, and was chasing me up the stairs. And I know in my nightmare I was basically scared shitless. And so I ran up the stairs. Now, again, my dream stairs into my bedroom. I woke up. Like, I actually woke up and I, sat up in my bed, blah, blah, blah. My door was open. But then I saw that same
I
thing
mean, is
come
this
to my
you,
door.
like in this picture?
No, no, yes, no one believes me. They're all on their phones.
A 10-year-old is growing a full beard. That's how scared you was.
But
I'm
anyhow,
listening to you and I'm so confused.
don't worry about. But then this thing, now I know I'm awake. I see it come up those stairs, come to where my door is, and in a weird way, just turn up like, and I explained invisible stairs and just disappear. And I am wide awake, so I know I saw this awake. Now I know there's some psychological thing, like somehow. But whenever I tell that story, they're like, "You're still dreaming. You're still dreaming. That whole thing was dream." I'm like, no, I sat up. I was awake. I looked at my door. I was sweating. I was nervous. Again, the same thing because I know which part was my nightmare. And as you know, because I ran into my room in my nightmare. But then I woke up in bed, sat up, and I saw it. And I sat there for like a few minutes before I just lied back down because I'm like, okay, it was just I didn't know how to explain it. I know it's hard to explain this, and usually I use like how this thing kind of followed me and blah blah blah, your little hand gestures. But yeah, so I every now
What
and then
the
I tell the
fuck?
story, and people are like, "You're still dreaming," and I'm like, "No, I dreamt the first part, but the second part I was awake, but I saw it clear as day, like I did in my nightmare, and it didn't chase me. Like I said, it just disappeared, like it went up like a round staircase, just God knows where else. But yeah, so that to me is
What?
a story that happened to me.
What
What?
was
I
this? Like,
believe you.
what is this? Like a
Mm.
flame thing?
I can't. It was like an orange guy, but like the whole thing was he was just red and orange. Like it wasn't like a person, but think of like a 6 foot, 7 foot tall. Like it looked like a person's body, but it was just all red and orange, not like really flames. So it was just something that broke into my house. I was playing in my living room with my friend in my nightmare, and it came, and I just remember being scared because it broke into my fucking house, and then I ran up the stairs. And then, like I said, I ran to my room because where else do kids run to? They're scared shitless. Like every horror movie, I ran upstairs instead of outside. But yeah, so basically, though, I got in, like I said, as I got into my room, I woke up and I woke up in my bed. My door was open and I sat up because again I was scared, and then I saw the thing come up the stairs where it was just chasing me, like come to my door, almost turned around and went up fake stairs, like almost like to heaven. Best way I can explain it, like these imaginary stairs, and just disappeared into the thin air.
What the
Again,
fuck?
It's a bit
exactly.
cool.
But then people are like, well, you must have been dreaming the whole time. I said, no, because I know I woke up. I know I sat up. I know I lied down. And I was breathing heavily. So I know I was awake. But again, I can't explain that shit. I know what I saw. So yeah, it made me think because every now and then I tell that story. It's just like a random story. I'm like, I know I was awake. I'm like, maybe something mixed between reality and my dream. And I don't know because the brain works in mysterious ways. Fuck it. But
Hmm.
that's what made me think of this topic. So I want to share. That's why I want to share the story. But yes,
Wow.
I had friends when I was in high school, and I told them they were just like, none of them believed me. I'm like, well, I know it happened. Well, it was a dream. I'm like, no, the first part was a dream. Second part, I was awake, but I can't explain it. So that's all. So I was just curious if you guys had any stories or anything where, again, maybe something whether it's like that or something you did that just no one believes that you've done. So, Mel, let's start with you. Do you have anything?
I have one that affects a few people. I lived in an apartment complex that was extremely haunted, and in this building, we see, you're instantly laughing.
He's already gone.
And
No,
I
because
wish I could.
I immediately thought of Zach Bagans saying like I never believed in ghosts until I came face to face with one because I'm a huge
Well,
Ghost Adventures fan. So that's
I've always
why
believed
I
in
laughed.
ghosts because a lot of people I've been seeing stuff my whole life, and my mom sees people before they cross over. My
Wow.
grandmother saw people. My aunt sees people. But in this apartment complex, it was different. Like literally, we would keep the door open, and we would stand in the balcony and we'd smoke our cigarettes. We'd keep the door open to make sure that my friends' kids were okay because we were too scared to leave them alone in this home. And we had literally her Emma's was like 4 years old at the time, and her bedroom door kept getting shut. So we moved. It took two grown adults to pick this toy box up, and we moved it and put it to where the door would not shut. And so we're standing, we're smoking, we can see directly down the hallway where her room is. And we finish smoking, we go inside, and we hear Emma talking to somebody. and we go back there and the door is shut. Now we're up on a high floor, so there's nobody out there, but when we had to like literally knock this door open, and she's in there staring out the window talking to somebody, but we don't see anybody. And she said it was a little boy who was in blue and that his lips were blue.
Oh,
And
jeez.
so during this time, we would see like DVDs were picked up off of the TV and thrown across the room. I was picked up in bed and thrown up against the wall. Um, all sorts of horrible stuff happening. We had two paranormal investigators come out, their teams. One of them did the paranormal investigation and they got all this footage, but every bit of it just deleted. And they to this day are like, we don't know what's going on, what happened. They've seen chairs move, all this stuff happening. And the paranormal that team actually split up. They
Wow.
said what we experienced there was too scary for us. We're not cut out for this. And then one of my friends, she was on a team, so they came out and they actually got like a lot of EVPs and like stuff mentioning my name and stuff like that. And they even put like their electric magnetic thing up against me, and it went crazy. And they were like, "We want to study you," and I was like, "Okay," but there was a lot of stuff caught there, and so we decided that we needed to move because it was just that bad. And everybody would move in, and they'd break their lease, and they'd leave. I was there for 3.5 years. When we left, we started doing an investigation. We found out that a man that lived in our building, actually the apartment that my friend lived in, that the little girl was experiencing that, he had got possessed by something and went to another woman in the building and knocked on the door, asked if he could use the phone, and she said yes, let him in because they were friends. And he strangled her to death because the voices told him to. We also found out that a little boy died in the bathtub. He drowned, and he was put in the attic. There was an attic space, and somebody put him up there, and they found him because he was smelling, and he
Oh,
was just a
jeez.
small child.
Yeah.
So that happened in that building,
Well,
and all this horrible stuff was happening. And so I tell people this stuff, they don't believe it. They're like, hold on, let me call Brandy and Eddie and Meg and Donna. I'm like, you start calling everybody, and we have a group of us, probably about 30 of us, and we know what happened there, including those paranormal investigators. But just sitting here talking, people don't believe it. They don't believe it. But I saw some crazy stuff in there. Absolutely insane stuff. And I will never forget that. And I'll also never go over there again.
I don't blame you.
Wow, we're
yeah.
starting off. We're starting off spooky on
Right,
this topic.
Tengu.
Yeah.
Let's see. If we, do you have do you have a story? Can we lighten the mood a little?
Please.
I just want to point out really
Uh,
quick that that woman is holding two cell phones. Just FYI, Tengu, you can have the floor, but that woman's holding two cell phones.
They're still not. They don't
it's
believe us. That's why she's just like, I
it's
don't
one
believe this guy.
controller. That's what it is. Man. Mine was actually going in that direction too. Like
No, go ahead.
a couple of things. Well,
Wow.
yeah, it's
I
crazy.
love it.
Like I was a kid, was playing like Super Mario Brothers 3, and like
Good game.
it was, yeah, a good game. It was like, I don't know what time it was. Maybe I think it was like afternoon or something. I had my light on. Um, I don't know why. I should have let natural light in. And then all of a sudden, yeah, and then all
That
of a
was so
sudden,
random.
yeah,
True
and
gamer.
then all of a
Block the light.
sudden
Yes, true gamer.
the lights turned off. And then I looked at the switch and it was like down. And
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, I sworn it was like, it's up. So that scared the shit out of me because I looked
yeah.
over and I just like ran to my bed.
Wow.
Bright
I don't
daylight,
blame
just
you.
put the covers on. Yeah.
Maybe
And
someone just reached in the door and just clicked and ran. Your parents are just being
maybe,
mean.
yeah.
Risky
That's
Too
dogs.
nothing.
focused on the game.
UK,
Yeah.
America. I never get that. I switch. You turn it down to turn the light on. The
Yeah.
opposite, the
Y'all
opposite.
freaks.
Yeah, turn it down.
Yeah.
And other weird story. I was going to work. I work early, early morning. Uh, I usually leave the house like at 2, 7:30 a.m. And it takes about like 10 seconds from the back door to get into the car. I think I got it up like about aliens here, because it's like as soon
Whoa.
as I left and then I got into the car, it was like 5 minutes later, and I'm like, what was I doing for like 5 minutes?
Holy
Gosh.
Oh,
You
Yeah,
never told me
it was
this.
weird. I think I
wow.
didn't I? I thought I told you.
Uh-uh.
Wow.
Are you
Yeah,
guys
so
on
that
the
was
fucking
that.
Ozarks or some
Yeah,
shit?
that was a little
There was
weird.
also one time he was driving home from work and he stopped at a red light and then he don't remember like 5 minutes.
I'll be
And
Oh,
honest,
you've been
that has
mad.
happened to me, but I not to promote this, but I know I was drunk. I don't know how I got from I remember going to a red light, and then I got to my mom's house,
Oh, that's
and
a
I'm like,
very
I'm
real
just
world
saying,
explanation.
I don't remember, and I know, so I know what happened, but there was a time I was just like, how did I get to my? And I was living with my mom, like, how did I get here? And I just remember pulling up, stopping, red light, and then I'm like, oh fuck, I'm like, that was stupid, and I think that's the last time I was stupid for quite some time. So,
Oh boy, do I
oh.
got you beat on that shit.
We won't talk not drinking stories now. Madness.
Not to promote that. Nope.
You know?
Because I know you most of
Uh,
your stories. What about you?
I'm
What's a
gonna
story
have
of
to be
something that's happened
Dutch.
that is unbelievable or no one believed?
no one believed. This is a bit lighter. Well,
Ooh,
We're gonna
it's
end
not,
light,
well,
That's why we're ending with
yeah.
Soto. Well,
Uh, I got
aliens.
offered a chance to join a top football academy,
oh,
Newcastle Football Academy, but my
Nice.
family didn't believe it, so they turned it down just because they didn't believe what they were saying.
What?
Yeah, he had contracts, he had all the different numbers to ring, and they're just like, nah, nah. Just didn't believe that I was that good, so they just didn't. Don't
And just
believe
to
it.
let
That's
y'all
not
know,
lighter at
football
all.
means
That's sad.
soccer. Soccer.
What?
yeah, but it's not ghosts or aliens. I think that's what he meant by lighter.
That's
Well,
still kind of sad,
It
though.
is
oh, it's
sad.
sad,
It's
but it's
probably
not.
sadder than any stories. I mean, Tengu might have been
Okay.
It
taken,
is
but
sad.
when you're,
You were like,
He
oh
got
yeah, we're
brought
not sad
back.
about
That's
that.
lighter.
That
well,
was
he's here
He
fun.
came
now.
back.
He came.
Okay.
I love that.
Oh my God.
Healthcare and
Really? So you hold on, Madness. Your parents didn't. So let me backtrack here with your story. So you said you got a call from a football academy.
No, no, I was part of a team, of my
Okay.
school team, and I just finished the match. The guy said, okay, I want to have a word with your parents. So I said, okay. And then the guy came round and they didn't believe it. He thought he's just some scammer. But he had
Uh,
contracts and all that a lot and had the phone for the club and he just didn't just let
they
me
shouldn't
go. Yeah.
Was it real? Like, was it a real thing?
Yeah, it was real, yeah.
Oh,
So let me ask: is it something where your parents would have had to pay for you to go, or is this
No,
like they
no.
pay? Okay, no, I
Yeah, I
because if
get what you're
they did,
saying,
I
yeah. It
could see
could be a
parents like, well,
scam.
we can't,
Yeah.
maybe too expensive. But yeah, no, I mean, if there was a contract, yeah, I mean,
have
Yeah.
they
I would have chanced
apologized?
it.
No, no, not saying my parents have passed now, but no, they never
Oh,
apologised.
oh my goodness.
Wow.
Saddest story.
Jeez.
All right, let's see if we can find it. Soto, you're the last one.
Oh my God, I can't
I
follow
know.
that.
I'm sorry. You have to follow. Everything that's just came in front of you. It
Oh
was.
my
I was just
God.
picking names here, but what about you? What is the story that no one believes happened to you?
Well, I've
I think it was
never
half price.
seen. I never have experienced anything paranormal. I will say probably the closest thing. I mean, when we lived in that place in Newmarket, that place was kind of sketch. Um, but
Yeah.
and at night especially, I always kind of felt weird about the kitchen because sometimes I would sleep in the couch. Um, but yeah, no, nothing. I've never experienced like that. That sounds terrible. Although I am a huge fan of Ghost Adventures and I've seen like all 28 seasons. And I'm gonna watch the season premiere tonight, which is my 2 hour special. It's called Skinwalker Invasion. So I'm down with the paranormal. I've just never had the chance.
Is
So,
the Ghost Adventures the one where they scream and they're like, "Come at
Yeah.
me" and all that shit?
oh my God, it's so funny. Yes, that's the one. The
Comic, yeah.
bros. The bros who are like in the dark and scared of their own shadows, and like Zach is constantly getting possessed by something,
Okay,
and
yeah, Zach. Okay, I know who you're talking about.
Zach with the
Okay.
faux hawk, and now he's got like, dude, he's a national treasure. So
Tie black
huge Ghost
t-shirts.
Adventures. Yes.
Before you get on with your
And
story, hold
there's
on. Hey, Cynic, just want to say hi. He just joined the chat, so sorry I'm late. So just letting you know, Mel Tengu. Cynic is in the house here.
House in it.
Chat, I shouldn't say house. That sounds weird coming from a
Hola.
40-year-old. But
Chat
what's
the
up?
house.
So anyhow, continue,
Sigao.
Soto. I'm sorry. Go
Corey in the
ahead.
house.
Continue.
No, Corey in the house. So I was just talking about this with Chad, and I actually have never told Chad this. So the whole reason that I moved over to New England was because I used to live in Los Angeles, but in the mid '90s, my through a whole series of circumstances, my mother had entered into a contest on actually a radio station called Power 106. At the time, Jay Thomas was the host and everything. And through a series of circumstances, my mother ended up winning $1 million like from this radio station contest. And that is the reason that we ended up, not the reason, but my dad was still like in the military, and like my parents' pictures were like on billboards in Los Angeles and shit like that. Like they had like hired like an artist and shit, so everybody kind of knew who we were over there. So in order to kind of like get away from everybody that knew us, we moved to like the opposite side of the country. So my dad
Yeah.
ended up getting stationed in Massachusetts, and that's pretty much I can divide my life between like what happened before and then what happened after like winning the $1 million. So in essence, it changed my life entirely. um, for
Yeah.
the first part, not great, but after a lot of years, obviously I'm a lot older now, like, I understand everything and that's gone on, but um, all the bad things in my family started happening after we won $1 million. So I've never told Chad this. And so we both thought it was hilarious because I thought I was actually going to tell Chad something that he already knew about. And so I was like, great, I'm going to tell an old story that Chad's already going to know. And then when I was talking to Chad about it today, he had absolutely no idea. And I didn't spoil it for him either. But, it was wild that all the times that Chad and I have drank together and have talked together about many things that I've never told him this story. Like it was like my parents were like on the radio. Like the whole thing was that at first you had to enter to win like a Dominique Wilkins sneaker. And so you had to get to that part of the contest. And then if you won the Dominique Wilkins sneaker, then you would be put into a raffle. And then to get into the raffle, you'd have to put your license plate number. And if the Power 106 van came around and saw your license plate number, they would announce it at like 6 o'clock, like the list of the license numbers that they saw. And if yours was on there and you called, you won the $1 million. So my dad and I are like at a Cub Scout meeting on like a Tuesday night or some shit like that. And we come back home and my mom is like freaking out saying she won $1 million. And of course, me and my dad are like, what are you talking about? Because we're just cynical by nature.
Yeah.
So immediately, like, it starts to like hit us and my dad like faints. Chad, you've met my dad. So it's like he faints, falls on the floor. And, you know, we think to ourselves, this is it. Like now everything is going to be okay for the rest of our lives. I learned that lesson at like 11 years old or so. Um, you win $1 million back then, that's a lot of money. And you just think everything's going to be fine now. And things were definitely not fine for like the next 20 years. Things happened to our
Everything comes out of the
family.
woodwork.
Yeah, everything, we moved. Everything was terrible for me because I had a cultural shift from living in Los Angeles with people that look like me. And then I moved to New Hampshire. And then all of a sudden people are like, you don't look like us. And I'm like, wait, what? What is this? So that happened all because of that one event of us winning that random $1 million. So I don't think I even tell people that story very often. So, because it's like kind of like a sore subject. That's probably why I never told you, Chad. But
I, yeah, and I get it. I understand. And the weird question I have out of all this, not to interrupt, but you said your
no,
parents, they put your parents on billboards? I mean,
yeah, they did.
out of everything, that's just the most random thing. It's like, if
Yeah,
someone won money and that, it's like, hey, look at these people who just won money, and then they,
in Los Angeles, yeah,
I
like Compton, Inglewood,
What
all that
what year
stuff.
was
Like, yeah,
this?
It was
because
like
back
in 1993, something like that.
because back then they did that. Like here, if you well, they didn't have the lottery here, but if you won money, they would like put you on the news and
Yes.
Wow.
everybody see it, and it was just
Yep.
it just opened up like all of a sudden everybody's gonna rob you. They know who you are. They could
Yes.
find out who all your family's coming. And I know a
Yes.
lot of people to this day who will not even play the lottery, even a scratch off, because they don't want to win because they don't want their
Yeah.
family knocking on the door. And
Right.
Yeah.
it brings a lot of problems to people.
It really
Yeah.
did. Absolutely. And it was Power 106, it was a huge radio station at the time. It still is. It's a hip hop station now. And like Jay Thomas was on Cheers and stuff, but my parents were on the radio, like being interviewed about what it feels like to win $1 million. And then their their billboards weren't just like pictures of them; they were like painted by a guy. So
Oh.
my mom and dad
Wow.
like just were in Los Angeles, one of the biggest cities in the world, like posted all over the place because they won this, this big contest that had been building in the city for that whole time. And again, you think that it's like a miracle can happen, and you think that once that miracle happens, everything's going to be fine. And I learned at a very young age that that is definitely not the case.
Blessing and a curse.
Hmm.
And then they had to take all that money and move you across the country, which probably took the majority of that money. And so in the
Yeah.
end, it's like, and they probably don't even have a dime left
Well, they bought a
because,
house in New Hampshire, and
right?
but my parents still had to work. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
still they didn't like couldn't quit their jobs. Like once they moved to New Hampshire, they had to get regular jobs, and that
Hmm.
money was like in a 20-year annuity. So really,
Oh, that's
it
true.
was
They
kind
didn't
of
do
like
cash
backup
options
money.
back then.
Yeah,
Right.
so we kind of just had that as backup money, but because of debt and things like that, it gets used
Yeah.
up, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
Fast. That's what it. Yeah.
they have a house that they bought for like a 200 grand back then
Yeah.
in a very fancy part of New Hampshire, which that house is probably over $1 million now. So it's actually funny because the house that they bought with that money is actually now the cost of what they won, and they won't move out. Uh, so
I don't
that's one
blame
way
them.
to get the $1 million back. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's it.
that's craziest
Well,
shit that's ever happened to me.
well, I don't want to end this topic on the
This
downer
is a
notes that we've
sad
had, but I will say this, Soto,
I know, right?
but being a movie guy
one.
and being this and that, and as this is going to sound like all that happened, but look at where you are now. You never would have met your wife if you did not take that trip across the country.
Oh, true.
So,
Absolutely.
don't get
Absolutely.
me wrong. I'm not saying it didn't suck at times, and obviously I would have no freaking clue what that's like. But you are where you are now because of it, and that's usually what matters. So,
Exactly. And that's
How
that's
depressing.
honestly that's how you get. Now I'm perfectly fine with it. But when you're 13
yeah,
and you're trying to
your
get
life
girls,
changed.
it's
You
hard.
got friends in LA, and now you're all here.
Yeah, and you're trying to date white girls, and it's awkward and weird because you're not white. And that's a very specific way to grow up. I mean, yeah, now I'm in my 40s. I'm chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, going through that in the worst time of your life, like puberty, was very, very difficult.
I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
All
No
right,
look
so
at it
aliens
this
though.
before
way.
No aliens.
Look at it this way.
Still waiting on the
He's back.
aliens.
He's okay.
You you never would have heard Mel's crushes.
that's true, you
Oh,
never had to go
speaking of
through.
True.
crushes,
Oh, no, let's
uh,
True.
We're still
all of the
listening to
cast
Mel's
of
crushes. She's been on
Tombstone.
mute this whole time. She's just been telling our crushes the whole time.
I
No.
love
But
that. I
before
love that headcanon.
Cranky, if you're still here, thanks for joining. And yes, Cynic, you
Hi,
are
Cranky.
cynical by nature, hence the name. And yeah, weirdly enough, Soto, this guy might have seen your billboards because he lived in LA in '93. So, but glad you
Yeah,
guys can
Power
join. But
106, baby.
we're getting towards the end. But since we're finishing up this random round table, is there any last questions anyone wants to throw out there? Any curiosities? Just before we end this and go play some Helldivers.
Who
No.
here believes in aliens?
Oh,
I do.
I
we've
don't.
had this talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I just don't
I
definitely
think
do.
don't.
I
No.
just don't think they've been here. I believe in them.
Well,
I just
I don't
don't
know
think
about
they've been.
that.
Tiggy,
Now,
Tiggy's
I mean,
like,
there's definitely something going on, Chad. I mean, it's like been recorded on the military cameras and something.
nah, it's all for
I
show.
think they look like us.
It's off the show.
I
Well,
really do. I think they look like
Yeah.
us. They're just prettier. They're probably
yeah.
healthy and skinny, nice,
I like that they secretly live underwater and we just haven't. They've been there the whole time. I
right?
like
Yeah.
that one. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I really hope that like Optimus Prime is real.
Wow.
I really do.
So you could fulfill
Like
one of
my
your celebrity crushes?
Transformers. I'll be
How do you
like,
fall?
oh my god, can I
Is it?
ride in you, please?
Oh
Whoa.
my god.
This is not the
Golly.
topic you discussed. We already
It
talked
was.
about this.
She did say porn at the very beginning. She did
Yeah.
say it.
So
It's not like it came out of left field.
full circle.
Oh, and Levi from
Oh
Attack on
god.
Titan.
Oh
Harley
my god.
Quinn.
He
All right,
he
so-
is a badass. He is a badass.
Oh,
He
my
really
God.
is. Oh my god, he's a badass.
But
Definitely inside Optimus Prime.
so before
my
we end
God.
this, Mel Tengu Madness, thanks for joining us. And we'll have to do this again with some newer topics, and maybe we'll do what we usually do every now and then,
Let's
grab
do some
some off of
happy
Twitter.
topics.
Well,
Yes,
these were
please.
happy times. They just got turned around.
started
It
We-
seemed
happy.
happy on paper.
On
The Pallet
paper.
Jack was the happiest one.
but
Pallet
for
Jack, I
the
miss you so much.
FYI, quick self promotion Monday. I don't know if anyone else has
Oh,
seen this film, but
yeah.
our Roadhouse
Oh, yeah.
2024 review is coming out on Monday.
See it.
So please check this out.
Pure
I feel like
masculinity
his
right
chest
there.
is fake.
It's AI.
We
Doesn't it look? It's like he's trying to look buff, but it looks like he's kind of.
Now, we actually talk about this in the thing.
He looks like butterscotch pudding in that fucking picture. God damn, dude.
I know, and yet he got
Shit's
really
melted
ripped
down
for
his
this. He
fucking
is so
stomach.
But yes, we did this because our first Roadhouse was our first 1,000 video, 1K watched. So, yeah, so Monday, the new Roadhouse comes out, and we just actually reviewed the next Karate Kid right before we
Oh
did this.
god,
So
we sure did.
we did. We had a
This is
lot to
B-Nice.
unhandle there. So,
My
I
no,
first
computer's
thought it
ringing.
said be rice, but it was be nice.
be nice. Everything's
Rice.
about be nice. So, but no, thank you all for doing this with us. We kind of wanted to test it out, see how it is, and we had some hilarious moments, and we had some serious moments. It's all right, it happens. That's life.
On a very
Serious.
special episode of Soto
Tengu got abducted by aliens. We don't know. It could have happened.
Chad seeing elementals in his room.
Yeah. I know.
Oh my god.
Oh, we saw a lot of shit. So,
Yeah.
but no, thank you guys for joining us. Seriously, it's been so much fun. We always
for
have fun
having
with the guys. So,
Oh yeah, this is fun.
but
I'm sweating
anyhow,
and crying. I don't know what's happening.
it's a bedtime madness. It's a bedtime for you.
It is.
Oh, I know.
It is. It is. But thank you, those who are still, in our chat, and if you're watching this on video, thank you all. And leave a comment. Is Mel's list worth it? Who would you add to Mel's list? That's what we want to know. Mel, I expect you to type out your list in the comments. She'll be typing for a year, so.
Like
just keep-
Cube from
I already wrote a
Hypercube.
book, and the reason behind everything. I'll send you a copy. I'll sign it.
But thank you all, and yeah, we're just gonna end the broadcast. So have a good one.
Bye, y'all.
I
Hey, look, our characters changed.